What's up guys, back at you with another video. In this one we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of different levers. The aftermarket name brand levers versus the more cheaper Amazon, eBay levers for like $30. Alright, we're going to show you how to install them and the pros and cons of each one right after this intro.
All right, so we are back. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove these levers, and before we put the new levers on, we're gonna weigh and compare the weights on both levers to see the differences. So the reason for all this, the reason we're changing these levers is because Kobe got into an incident where his front brake locked on him without him even touching that front brake lever. So he's gonna explain to you what happened.
Alright guys, so here was my experience with these cheaper levers that I had on previously. I was on I-95, I was going at a high rate of speed, I was in the fast lane, and all of a sudden, I was going without even touching the front brake, touching the brake at all, the lever, it just snapped and completely engaged. Just snapped forward towards me and essentially wouldn't let go. I was going pretty fast, just stopped. I came to a stop so fast that I didn't even have a chance to get from the fast lane to the shoulder. I was half on the fast lane still as cars were passing by. I couldn't move the bike. Bike was completely locked up, obviously, because the front brakes were locked. And I was stuck there until somebody pulled over and helped me pick up the front end of my bike and move it over. And I had the cheap levers on at the time. I didn't know what caused it. I wasn't on the brake at all previously. It just completely locked up and engaged. And my take on it, after I was home safely, I did some research, and I was thinking, you put all this money into a nice bike, and you get the tune, and you get a windscreen, for example, you get all this stuff, and then you cheap out and get $30 levers. So it just isn't worth it. I mean, if the brakes go out, you know, who knows what could happen. It's not good. And I think as levers should be high quality. I mean, that's what stops you. That's what gets you from point A to point B. So I think it's very important to have expensive levers, especially from what I went through having the cheaper ones.
All right, guys, so we're gonna remove this, and as I'm removing, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about installation. It is very important when you install new levers to lubricate your levers, whether they're new, whether you're just doing maintenance. It's important to lubricate your levers in general as maintenance, and I'm gonna show you why. And I believe the reason that happened to Kobe was because when he installed it, he did not lubricate this pin, and therefore there was a lot of friction. Okay, so I gotta hold this up. There was a lot of friction, and I guess every time you pump that lever, it builds up pressure, and there's no lubrication for that thing to go back. That can happen. Let me bring this forward. Another thing, when you change levers on the clutch side, make sure this is all the way back in, so you can have and stretch out the cable, so you can have enough slack to remove the lever. What I noticed a few people lately that I've had issues with levers, a couple of my friends, they buy bikes or they change levers and they don't install this on their new lever. Well, this is designed to remove from here on your OEM lever and put it on your new lever. You insert it here. But one of the things that it's important to know is lubrication. You got to lubricate this on the outside and the inside. So we're gonna go ahead and weigh this out. So we're gonna go pounds and ounces. This is that brand, MZS. And we're looking at 4.7 ounces versus the ASVs. All right, so as you see, the ASVs are a little heavier by what, 2 ounces?
About 2 ounces, yeah.
About 2 ounces. That's okay. I do have these that I'm gonna replace on my bike. These are carbon fiber. These feel very light. So let me go ahead and weigh this. 3.5 ounces. That's good for me, because if you watch my videos, I like to race, so that's a good thing. So we're gonna go ahead and install this now. You see that slot goes in here. So let me take this off. I got butterfingers, keep dropping stuff. All right, so we want to insert that like this. Get it? Pull it back. There it is. All right. So let's go grab the lube. This is Red and Tacky. This stuff works great. Stuff works great. We're gonna dip it right here. We're gonna take it and lube this. And then we're gonna take, lube the inside diameter of this. Make sure you get enough in there. If it squeezes out, if it oozes out, you can always get a rag and clean it. Most important thing is you want to lube this. Put that sleeve back into the lever. Right there. Slide in the bolt. Grab your nut. Put this like this. Man, it's humid today.
Yep.
This is a lock nut, so you should be good. You don't need no Loctite or anything. Nice and snug. You don't want to go too crazy. You want this to move. Now we take the clutch. You see how much slack? Got about a quarter slack. When you adjust the clutch, you always want to fit a nickel or a dime in there. That's the kind of slack you want. All right, guys, so we ran out of battery, so I don't know if my last part was recorded. What I was saying was that when you switch out your lever, you always want to leave that little rattle in your levers, especially your clutch lever. You want to give it about maybe a 16th to an 1/8. In other words, enough to fit a nickel or a dime in there. So right there. So that's about right. The clutch feels good. Feels smooth. Feels smooth. So we're gonna go ahead and do the blue bike. One of the blue bikes. We're gonna swap out the levers. So we'll record that one as far as when it comes down to your front brakes. All right, so how the bike felt?
Bike feels great. Levers feel smooth. Clutch engages perfectly, exactly where I like it. Brakes are snappy. When everything's lubed up with the nice grease, makes it a lot better for sure. Yep.
All right, that's
Yep,
good. That's
great.
good to know. All right, so guys, you guys already know this bike. This is Little Blue. I'm going to do the same to these. These are Amazon levers. Like Kobe stated in the video, knockoff cheap levers, but I think they're pretty good. I've installed these on numerous bikes, and you know, and I never had any issues. That's just my opinion. Now, the installation process is what matters. Lubing up your bolt and your sleeve is very important. Otherwise, you're gonna run into those issues that Kobe experienced on the highway that could have ended pretty badly. So we're gonna go ahead and put the little blue in there, and we're gonna swap those out. But those were AVS. What are these?
ASV.
ASVs.
Yep.
I am gonna try these CRG carbon fiber levers. As you see, I weighed one, and it was 3.5 ounces, which is good, which is what I want, because if you see here, I've been lining up this bike. This bike is extremely light. Tell them how light that bike is.
Oh, it's wild. Like I had a 400cc Ninja 400. I get on that bike and it's like, it's crazy, honestly, how light the bike is. Yeah, it feels amazing.
See, that's tacky. Feel that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Really.
And these were installed. Means grease, but it's so dried out and burnt out from all the movement that you do have to maintenance these bikes once in a while. You know, especially your levers. Your levers are very important because it's your front brake, and what, 80% or 70% of your braking power is your front brake. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the other side. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead, and this is the clutch. So that's 4.4 ounces. 4.4. Hopefully you guys can see. We're gonna weigh the CRGs. 3.1. We're gonna weigh the front brake. 5.6 ounces. And we are gonna weigh the CRG. 3.6 ounces. Clean this nipple. See that? I also lube this too. As you see, there's already lube in there. That lube looks good, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of more. Hi, puppy. All right. I know I'm being silly. But that's okay. So now we put this sleeve over this little groovy right there. Prevents any kind of fluids from seeping in here. Right there. See that? Okay. These have to come with this little levers. CRG puts them separate. That slides in this location right here to the bottom. And that hole needs to be facing out because that's where that nipple goes in that hole. All right, so I'm gonna lube this up. If it gets a little messy after you install it, that's okay. You can always wipe it down. I forgot to add lube on this little pin right here. You can add some lube here if you wanted to. You don't have to, but just a slight bit if you wanted to. There it is. is stuck. All right, guys, so these are the levers. I personally love these. I'm glad I had switched them out. The CRG carbon fiber, they are great. They are the shorties. Kobe and I switched bikes. We tried each other's bikes, and I personally like the shorter ones. He likes the longer ones because of his riding style. Yeah, but they are great. They are great. So anyhow, we want to thank you all for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We got more content coming. It's been a while, but it's coming. So with that being said, catch you on the next one. Peace.